going on, guys? It's Revibe, and it is Friday, which means it is another episode of the best weapon, in which we're pretty much going to break down every single weapon in the game, and at the end of its cycle we're going to determine which one is the best weapon statistically. So we're going off of stats here. I'm going to try not to be biased because we're talking about one of my favorite weapons in this video, the Type 100. Probably one of the most underestimated guns in the game. I made a whole video about it. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. I also link down below the first two episodes if you want to check those out as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start off with the stats in the game. What Call of Duty is saying about the Type 100, which it's pretty much saying that the damage is 5, the range is 7, the accuracy is 7, and the fire rate is 6. All right, so pretty simple stats. Once we dive a little deeper, we start to see the actual damage per bullet at its ranges, with 30% damage per bullet at close range, 24% damage medium, and 18% damage long range. So a decent damage, numbers, not too bad, right? Pretty good. It starts off with 30 rounds. You have pretty much 90 mags, and then with max ammo, or with the max ammunition, it's 180 with 30 bullets in the clip. So you do have a decent, clip size without extended mag, which is 45, which I'm running in this video. The fire rate, because this is pretty important, is 625 without rapid fire. And once you put rapid fire, this gun will turn into the devil with a fire rate of 666. And you might want to run rapid fire on this thing. It's pretty killer, to be honest. What gives this gun the advantage over many other guns, though, is that it has very low recoil. It's pretty much non-existent whenever you're using this gun, and it's amazing. But the penetration is low, and that does play a big role in this game, as there's many head glitches and little areas for people to hide. So you're gonna want to run FMJ as well if you really want to get those penetration medals, or you're just trying to get someone behind the wall, because this one won't do the trick. Versus guns like the PPSH and the grease gun, in which pretty much have a good damage and could penetrate through some objects. This one does struggle a bit though. Now we're going to get into the actual comparison, in which we're going to kind of rank these weapons. Now we're going to have 3 weapons to rank, and the current ranking status right now in categories. We've broken these down into categories, and I'll try to make a little chart as well to kind of make it a little bit more organized so that you can visually see it. But for overall, just for the general player that uses every division, and the gun that pretty much goes best with every division, we said was the grease gun, because the damage is pretty good at all ranges, to be honest, and it has a pretty decent range, with the damage being 35 up close, 29 in medium, and 23 long range. So anywhere it's pretty much a 3 to maybe 4 shot kill max, depending on the range. And the PPSH is obviously in second, because the damage when it comes to overall, is 30 close range, 29 medium, 19 long range. So for overall best, with all divisions, the grease gun statistically takes it. Although I don't like the grease gun, like I said, try not to be biased. All right, we're just going off of stats here, and now we're going to see where the Type 100 fits in this list. Of course, off of fire rate, off the bat, the PPSH is first place. But there's no discussion needed, because with the fire rate on the PPSH, it's 722 RPMs without rapid fire. Grease gun is 545 without rapid fire, and the Type 100 is 625 without rapid fire. So pretty much there, we already know the PPSH is still in first place, the Type 100 is in second, and the grease gun is in third when it comes to fire rate. Off of damage, the grease gun is still first place with damage, as we mentioned, 35 up close, 29 medium, 23 long range. PPSH has a up close damage of 30% per bullet, 29% in medium range, and 19% long range. And the Type 100 pretty much comes up short by one on the medium and long range, as it has the same up close damage as the PPSH, but it has a 24 medium range damage and an 18 long range damage. So it's pretty much short by one. So statistically, it's third place versus the PPSH and the grease gun. So for those standings, it's grease gun, PPSH, and Type 100. Now for this last one, it's just overall best, which one fits with all divisions, which one is just good for the general player. This one could be a little bit biased. It's kind of going to be a mix of my opinion and stats. So statistically, it's pretty much second place. I'm go ahead and say that, because this gun, if you've ever used it, does have a better range than the PPSH. So if you're a more laid back player, it'll definitely benefit you on that. and you will still have that nice fast movement. So it'll work pretty much with every single division because it's an SMG, it's not that heavy, and the range is pretty crazy on this weapon that, yeah, you can sit back. Now, the range is honestly better than the grease gun and the PPSH, but it lacks at the penetration. That's why I'm going to put it in second place, because it is a bit better if you're a more laid back player than the PPSH. I would rather use it if I'm going to, be a little bit more conservative, but it still has that low penetration, and you're going to need to run FMJ, which if you're not running, the infantry division, you only have 2 attachments to actually use, unless you run primed as well, but you're sacrificing your basic training for that. So I'm putting it in second place for that reason. It's a little bit on opinion and a little bit off of stats because, yeah, statistically saying, though the PPSH does more damage, it still doesn't have that great of a range versus this gun, which ultimately gives it the advantage. Yeah, it's 1 less percent. It'll take 1 more bullet than the PPSH to kill someone long range, but you still get that range versus the PPSH where you're going to have to get a little bit closer just to actually kill them. So that's pretty much the whole, rankings right now. Which for overall best weapon, it's still the grease gun on top. The grease gun is a pretty good gun. It does work with all play styles. The Type 100 is in second place because it's similar to the grease gun, but the penetration really, it brings the gun down a bit, but it also works with all play styles. It has a decent fire rate. It has decent damage, of course, less than the grease gun, but the range really makes up for it. PPSH is in third place for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe if you guys aren't already. If you are liking this series, let me know down in the comments below, and check out the other episodes. I will try to link them all down in the description below. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.